Hey everybody, it's Kimberly with Now Yoga and Wellness. Thanks for joining me for this marinara excursion that we're going on here. So I picked all my tomatoes. I have a ton of tomatoes. What I did is I weighed my very large pot to see how much this weighs, because I'm going to skin and de-seed of these tomatoes, and then I'll put them in here and see how many pounds worth of tomatoes I have, because I'm going to have to do far more than one recipe. So what I'm going to do is I have this little basket here. I've got my water boiling on the stove, and I've got both sides of my sink full of tomatoes. So I've got tomatoes that I have washed, and I have tomatoes that I've already boiled, and you can see their skins just slip off perfectly well. Okay, so there you are. Okay, so we're gonna fill this basket with tomatoes. Right, I don't want to fill it too high because then they tend to roll out when they get into that pot. Now watch, I'm going to take this. I like to use my wooden spoon so I don't have to try to get this out of the pot. It'll be really hot metal at that point. Put it in the pot. And we're going to let it sit. I'll show you. Okay. So here I've got my wooden spoon holding the metal up, but you can see the skin starting to split there. All right, I'm gonna put you back. There you go. All right, lifting it out of the pot, carrying it over, dumping them into the right side of the sink. So now I can start taking these. And I'll just seed one for you. So the skin slips off. This picture here is for all the skins and seeds. I just tend to cut the top right off, and this is an Amish paste, so there's not a ton of seeds in it. I like to use Amish paste tomatoes, but when I want a large abundance of tomatoes, I'll just use all the beefsteak tomatoes, the early girls, everything that I've got to make up what I need for this. So that's it. I'm just going to put that right into this pot, and we've started. Here I go. We'll see how much pounds we get. I got all my tomatoes peeled and seeded, and they're sitting there waiting in the pot. I ended up with 22 pounds of tomatoes after all was said and done. So here are my onions. My husband so kindly dug up out of my garden for me. They still have to be washed. You guys, I'm a horrible garlic gardener, and yes, I just got these from like Sam's Club. I'm sorry, but I cannot seem to grow garlic from. Can you tell I'm getting tired? This is quite the excursion. So, all right, I've got my onions, I've got my garlic. That all still needs to be peeled and cut and all of that, but we need carrots. So the carrots in this recipe actually take away some of the acidity from the tomatoes. So that's why we add carrots to this. Oh, look at that garden cat. What are you doing there, Minnie? Sorry, distractions. Here's my carrot bed, though. I've got my trowel, and I've got some nice big carrots. So we're gonna get 4 carrots out here. Oh, I don't want to take any that are, let's see. What ones am I gonna take? Look at this humongous one. We'll take you. Thank you. Mr. Carrot. There we go. Okay. That's a nice big carrot. We're gonna get 4 of these. Let's go get my oregano is right here. Look at that loofah, you guys. I'm growing loofah. Isn't that crazy? Okay, I got my snips. We're just gonna snip a bunch. I only need, I think, like 4 sprigs of these. So, oregano from the garden. It's being kind of shaded over by my loofah, but we'll get a little extra just because it never hurts to have extra. Okay, so we've got our oregano. My basil has kind of gone wild this year, and it's decided to grow just like there, and it's growing here, which I planted it, and that's okay. But we're just gonna cut a nice big chunk of this. Snip, snip. We need like I have so much that I need like what, 1 1/3 cup of it, so this guy needs to be cut back anyway. So let's cut some more. It's September, right? My husband reminded me today that none of this is going to be sticking around all too long. So I've got everything that I need. Oh, I forgot parsley, you guys. So I'm going to go in the garden and get parsley. And I'm going to chop it all up, and I'm going to put it into, well, the parsley doesn't get chopped, but I'm going to put it in the pot. So I sauteed my onions and my garlic and my carrots. The carrots are supposed to be grated, but I didn't really feel like doing that yesterday, so I just chopped them into smaller pieces. They're all going to get blended up anyway. The parsley and the oregano, you can add thyme to this. I don't grow thyme, and I didn't have it, so just some sprigs of parsley, oregano, and thyme in there, and then the chopped up basil and bay leaves as well. So now it's time to cook it down. I have all my ingredients got chopped and cooked down to put into the pot, and I've had this simmering for 3 hours now. I'm gonna see if I want to go a little bit longer. If you want it to be a thicker sauce, then you just keep cooking it a little bit longer. But I'm gonna take my handy dandy immersion blender and puree it all up into my marinara. I haven't added the honey yet. I'll let it cool a little bit before I do that.